It's a basic fact of being a magician that sometimes magic goes wrong. And at the first ever magic gig I ever did, the first time I was paid to do magic at an event, things didn't go wrong. That actually would not be a fair statement. They didn't go wrong, they went much worse than that. Oh boy, did things go wrong. Today we're going to be taking a trip down memory lane, and not a good memory lane, a sort of bad backstreet avenue off memory lane, and we are going to be reminiscing about my first ever magic gig, the first time I was ever paid to do magic at an event, and I'm going to be telling you about how it was the worst gig I will ever do. Although, I guess I should say, hopefully the worst gig I'll ever do, because I'm not a time traveller. I don't know, there could be one worse in the future. Although I doubt it, and I very much hope that there won't be one worse than this one. I did a video recently about what to do when tricks go wrong, so if you're looking for more of an advice video, there's not going to be much advice in this video, except sort of, you know, don't copy me and here are my mistakes. Okay, let's crack on, shall we? Let's just dive right in with the many mistakes that Cavan made in his first magic gig. Oh, there's a number of them. Mistake number one is not something that technically went wrong during the gig or during any of the performances. I did not want to be in a situation where I ran out of tricks, and so I went the opposite way a bit, and I took rather too many things. Every single pocket I had was stuffed to the brim with as many tricks as I could possibly fit, and I went in looking like the Michelin Man. It was just ridiculous, the amount of stuff that I took. 90% of it I did not use, and that was just out of a fear of running out of stuff. But yeah, I went overboard. I took way too much. So there I was, a young magician at his first ever magic gig, excited to be there, and he rocks up to do his first trick. He's been paid to do magic, this is what he wants to do as a career. He is determined, there is no way that this can go wrong. It went wrong. It went wrong just a little bit. Just a little bit. I decided for some reason that my first trick was going to be an appearing glass of milk. I don't know why, for some reason in my head that was the most impressive visual thing that's sort of like a conversation starter. I wanted to get people talking about the magician at the event, and what better way is there than milk? For some reason that was the logic in my head. Basically, without giving too much away, not that really I'm ever going to perform this again, but I had a glass of milk in my back pocket. What can possibly go wrong from that, you might ask? Well, exactly what you're thinking. I spilt the milk down my trousers. Spilt the milk down my trousers. It was not a pretty sight, let me tell you. It was not pretty. I got milk on my jacket, I spilt some on my trousers. I was just basically stinking of sour milk for the entire gig from that point onwards. So I was a conversation starter, I guess, but not in a good way. So the milk-stained magician wipes himself down and he carries on with the gig, and he launches into a trick that he knows can't possibly go wrong, which is ambitious card. I have a card signed, I lose it in the deck, it rises to the top, I'm on top form, I've got over the milk instant now, it's alright, we're into the first proper performance card trick for a little group of people. And after the first phase of the ambitious card, for some reason, I suddenly just lose my entire grip on what is going on. And everything from that point in the routine went wrong. And then I went into a torn and restored thing using their signed card. I love torn and restored, I love it. I like the idea of tearing their card and putting it back together. That was great. And without giving too much away, basically the trick involves me ripping up a different card to their actual signed card. And I think you know what's coming. It's making me cringe even thinking about it. But I accidentally... I can't even say it. So yeah, I accidentally ripped up their signed card, for real. I just ripped it up. Ripped up the wrong card. And obviously, because I'm not a real wizard, I can't put it back together at that point, so I just sort of declare that the end of the trick, and I throw the pieces in the air as some sort of confetti at the end of my trick. I don't really know why I did that, but there was nothing else I could do, and I just sort of moved on. Thank you very much. And I move on to the next group, and Oh god, it gets worse. I don't know how it gets worse, but it just gets worse. At this point, my confidence has been knocked quite a bit, and I don't want this video to put people off who are wanting to get into performing magic, because I'm sure it won't go as wrong as it went for me on my first time. And what you need to remember is, I now do magic gigs as my job. Which I've just realised, a lot of people that hire me for performances watch my YouTube videos, so any idea, any reputation I had of being a good magician has gone right out the window. Thank you very much. Well done, Cavan. That's a great business decision. I basically just spend the next sort of 5 or 10 minutes stood around, sort of awkwardly looking around desperately. Will anyone see any magic now? Probably not, because I smell like rotten milk. So finally, after way too many minutes, I get a group who are interested to see some magic. And I think this is great. I'm gonna go in with a trick that I know can't go wrong. I go in with a self-working trick. Without giving anything away, basically it's a self-working trick that only needs a little bit of setup. It needs 3 cards on top of the deck. Just 3 cards that I remember, and it's fine. They need to be in a specific order, but other than that, I've got it sorted. Self-working trick, easy, I think. And how wrong I was. Because you guessed it, it went wrong. You're probably thinking at this point that every trick I did at this gig went wrong, and it's about 50%, to be honest. It's very strange, and it doesn't quite work, but I think I get away with it, and I'm happy to do another trick for these people, and so I go into invisible deck. Of course I do. Doing the invisible deck, I bring the cards out the wrong way, it's awkward, I have to put them back, I have to try and fumble for another trick. It's just going awful, and because I've got so many props in my jacket and in my jeans, just tricks stuffed in every corner, I'm literally like rummaging through my pockets like it's a library, and I'm trying to pick out the right trick. I get to the end of my hour slot, and I think I am going to go out with a bang. I need a trick that is going to absolutely amaze everyone. Any tricks that went wrong beforehand will be forgotten because of this, and so I set about doing a card through window effect. So I go outside quickly, bit of double-sided sticky tape, which I probably had in my jacket for some reason, and I just quickly stick that to the glass, and I go inside to perform card through window. I get the card selected, it's the right card, the force doesn't go wrong. I think, yes, I'm well in, there's no way this can go wrong. Take the card back, lose it in the deck, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. I take the cards and I aim towards the window which is behind my spectators. They can't see the card, they can't see the glass, and I spray the cards at the window dramatically. And everyone turns to look at the glass, and there is nothing there. There is nothing. There is nothing on the other side of the glass. And I'm just going, okay, someone go and check outside. Because the card had dropped off the glass on the other side. It hadn't stuck properly, so it had just dropped off. And so the dramatic moment of the card being visually on the other side of the glass was completely lost, because someone had to fetch the key for the back door, and that took about 2 minutes, and then they unlock the door, and then they go out, and oh yeah, the card's there. By which time, most of the audience have scattered, completely ruined the moment, and they sort of pick up the card, no one's really that interested, and I go home. Yeah, wasn't a great gig. I mean, it really wasn't. I cannot believe that that was my first gig, and it didn't put me off. So I head home, slightly sticky and smelling of milk, which is probably just an average night out for some people. And yeah, it was a bit tough to take. And then the next morning, I receive a little bing, little notification, because someone left me a 5-star review on my website. And that just filled me with joy, because even though I thought it went really, really badly, now, probably was a pity 5 stars, but that little boost gave me a bit of confidence, because I thought it was a terrible gig. I was dropping cards all over the show, there were tricks going wrong left, right and centre, I got soaked in milk, you know, I thought it couldn't have gone worse, and yet someone watched one of those tricks and thought that that was 5-star and went to the effort of doing that on my website. And so yeah, it wasn't a disaster after all, although it still was a disaster in my head. I will never have a gig as bad as that. So there we go, that is the story of the worst performance I ever did. I hope you enjoyed this for some reason, and if you did, make sure to click the thumbs up button down below. And if you've never seen a video from me before, then hello, my name is Cavan, I teach magic, I react to it, I talk about it, that sort of thing. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in and you want to see more from me, then you can subscribe to the channel down below, and yeah, that would be really, really appreciated. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I will see you in the next episode.
I think you're gonna have to be careful. We're gonna have to go there.